2021 Ford Bronco Outer Banks Edition. Now today on the channel, we're reviewing a car that I personally am super excited about. So firstly, shout out to Erinwood Ford here in Mississauga. They lent me the car for today. If you're interested in a Bronco or a Bronco Sport or any Ford vehicle for that matter, if you're anywhere in the GTA, check them out. Would definitely recommend them. Super helpful group of staff. So today we're reviewing a 2021 Ford Bronco Outer Banks Edition. Now, I am super excited for this review because I'm super excited for this car. When this car first was revealed, a couple of teasers were released and details revealed, I was excited because it looked really unique, it looked really promising, and it looked like it was at a price point that was also super appealing and super promising. So today I want to see if it kind of lives up to that hype. Now, I'm not pretending to be someone who knows about off-roading or the culture behind off-roading. And we know that this car is great at doing that. We know that from the reviews that are out there, from the people who are pros who have taken this car out and reviewed it in those scenarios and in that setting. So today I want to take it and review it as kind of an everyday vehicle. Like, it looks cool, it looks like an awesome car. So let's say you just want to buy it to kind of use as your daily car, but let's say you are someone who likes off-roading and you want to see how it would stack up for doing the off-roading stuff and then also serving as your everyday kind of car. So let's check that out today and see how it stacks up. Alright, so the first thing that we have to start off with, which is my personal favorite thing about the car, is the styling. And I think the styling for this car has been an absolute like smash hit home run for Ford, because it looks so damn cool from the outside and also from the inside. I mean, if we take a look at the outside, you have these super distinctive kind of headlights at the front, distinctive grille. It all just looks very unique and fresh and bold, and that kind of carries through the rest of the outside as well. It has a very, how do I say it, like an imposing presence, a unique imposing presence on the road that not a lot of other cars have. And it also looks very fresh because there's not really that many things out there that look like it. And I think particularly Ford has done a very good job of making this car look like the off-roader it is, making sure that it looks as capable as it actually is without really looking too similar to other competition. Wrangler, I'm just kidding. It doesn't really look anything like the Wrangler, which is awesome for Ford because they've made it look very unique. And the best part is, it looks like an actual SUV. It's not looking like some kind of crossover. They've done a really good job of doing that. And this is not the Bronco Sport, but I think the language from the Bronco has been transferred over to the Bronco Sport very effectively, is the way I'll put it. In the back, you also have a very cool look. You have these kind of slim vertical lights that look very unique and very different than what else is out there, and it fits the theme of the car, and it looks really good. Another thing I think that Ford has done really well is their color palette and the colors that they've selected for this particular model. There's just a lot of unique and different colors for the Bronco. Firstly, it makes people associate those colors with the Bronco, which is great from a marketing perspective. And secondly, it also kind of enhances the look of the car. The car I'm in today is like this chalky, like pastel gray blue. And there's not that many other colors out there that look like this. And it also works so well with the design and the body language of the car. I mean, this has the removable black roof. It's the four-door version. And the contrast of that removable black roof with this gray color works very well. All right, so moving on to the inside, I think the inside looks great too. Everything in here looks like it was designed for a function, it's designed for a purpose, and it kind of all blends in together very nicely. There's a few key elements of the inside that I particularly love. So when you get into the door, first of all, there's this cool net at the bottom of the door, which looks very cool and purposeful. There's also a grab handle that looks like it was designed to be very rugged, so I like that. There's also these grab handles right by the vents, which are good. I mean, they're functional. When you're off-roading, you want to be able to hold on to something when your body's going all over the place. So that, but they also look very cool. There's also one of those in the middle as well. The gear shifter also looks pretty cool. So there's like this little Bronco insignia on the top and a US flag on the bottom. Now I'm in Canada, so, but I'll allow it because it's a very proudly made in America, made in USA vehicle. And below that, there's this kind of switch that allows you to change modes. It's called the GOAT mode switch. So GOAT in this context doesn't stand for greatest of all time, but it could. That's not up to me to make, but Ford, it could, right? But it stands for go over any terrain, or go over all terrain, one of those two. And that's kind of what the Bronco was marketed as when it first came out in the 1960s. So that's what this reflects, and it kind of changes your driving modes. And within that, you have a electronic switch to kind of go between 4-wheel drive and 2-wheel drive and high-low in that. So that looked cool as well. And it shows just how functional this interior is that the window switches and the mirror switches are in the middle of the car, right by the center console, which is awesome because the doors are removable. So you want to minimize all that stuff on the doors. So it's a very clever way to put this right here, center console, within easy arm's reach. At the top of the dash here, you also have these 4 buttons to kind of change your drive modes, to turn off traction control, stability control, and your hazard lights. So this is a very cool place to put them, and it makes me really feel like I'm in an off-road car. So all things said, from a styling perspective, it looks cool. Like, we all knew that. We've seen the pictures inside and out. Like, we know it's a cool looking car. So styling, Ford, awesome, awesome work. I love it. What's also great about the interior is the fact that the technology in here is so much better than the technology that's in the competition. It is phenomenal. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. So I'm going to do a separate clip here talking just about the interior technology. All right, so while we're kind of on the topic of the interior, let's talk a little bit about comfort on the inside. Now, in the front, it's a super comfortable place to be. You can see here, I have a lot of headroom, a lot of shoulder room. It's just a very spacious cabin, and because it has so many windows everywhere, the visibility is also great, which helps with also day-to-day driving, but I'm guessing that when you're off-roading, you also need that visibility, so that has that tangible benefit when you're driving on normal roads as well. It's a very comfortable place to be up here in the front, no complaints at all. In the back, it's also very spacious and very roomy. I found personally the seats to be just a teensy bit flat, but I'm guessing that that's because the seats aren't designed particularly with comfort in mind, but more with like practicality and functionality in mind, which is why they're a little bit more flat, but it's still a very spacious and roomy place to be. And cargo space wise, it's also very practical. You have a nice flat floor. You can put the seats down, of course. So yeah, lots of room in the back. I mean, look at this, the shape of this car. It's pretty much a box, so you're gonna have a lot of cargo space for sure. All right, now let's talk about probably what is the biggest point of contention with some of these off-road vehicles, and that's how they drive and how they handle on the road. Now, I recently had the chance to drive a competitor to this vehicle. You can find the video on my channel, and I wasn't super impressed with how it drove on road, but I kind of forgave it. Forgave? Is it forgave or forgived? I forgave it. Forgave it. I forgave it because I'm going with forgave. I forgave it because I kind of knew that it was a off-road vehicle. This car, this Ford Bronco, is way better. Way better. I'm not sure what exactly makes it way better, but I've been driving it around town all day, and the way that it drives in and around town almost just feels like a big SUV. It definitely feels like a big body on frame SUV because it is, but it doesn't feel like it's sacrificing anything or compromising on anything just because it's such a good off-roader. On road, it just feels like a very comfortable large SUV, and I think that is awesome. And I think a large part of that might be because this has double wishbone front suspension, which definitely makes a difference in how you perceive your comfort on a day-to-day basis. But for me, having driven this car all day, it's a very comfortable place to be. And even on the highway at higher speeds, I did drive this car at higher speeds on some of the larger roads here. It's very stable, very capable. You don't really have to worry about any instability or any of that stuff. So from a driving perspective, I think that this car is very, very comfortable and very easy to drive. You don't really have to worry about anything, despite the fact that this is a large, chunky off-road car on off-road tires. So I think personally that Ford has done a very good job of kind of finding that right balance between off-road capability and on-road comfort, which is very, very hard to do. So big kudos to the company for having done that. Powertrain options. There's two powertrains available on the Ford Bronco. There is a 2.3 liter EcoBoost 4 and a 2.7 liter EcoBoost 6. So right now I'm in the 4-cylinder version, and I'm in the larger body style, which is the four-door body style. And I'll tell you, I'll have to say, this engine is perfectly capable for this size body. Like, it's not like a sports car when it comes to its speed, but it's plentiful on the road. I mean, you could pass traffic easily. You don't feel like you're in an underpowered vehicle, so that's really all you need for this. And it's a torquey engine, and the torque helps with that off-roading stuff. So again, I'm not fronting, I'm not pretending to be an off-road pro, so if you want to check out some off-roading videos, they'll probably give you a better breakdown of which engine is better for off-road purposes. But from my perspective, both engines are probably good for the on-road stuff, because even this 4-cylinder engine is good for the on-road stuff. All right, so is this a good purchase? Is it good value? Is it cool? And the answer to all of that, in my opinion, is yes. Is it a good purchase? Yes, because there's not really that many cars on the road that could do what this car does, and that's finding that right balance between being extremely capable off-road and also being comfortable as a daily driver on road, as kind of like a family hauler type vehicle. Second question, value. Is this Ford Bronco good value? And I happen to think that yes, yeah, it's good value. It's good value because there's not really that much else out there that this really competes with. So from a value proposition, it's all kind of in the same realm. And within that class, I think the Bronco is the strongest option right now in terms of refinement, in terms of technology, in terms of powertrain options, in terms of cool factor, in terms of how it looks and feels and the feeling it gives you. So from a value perspective, all those things within its class, for me, put this right at the top from a value and pricing perspective for what this car is as a package. And is it cool? I mean, yeah, of course it's cool. You don't see really that many of these on the road yet. So you're getting yourself into a unique vehicle. It has a storied brand and a storied legacy. It's from the 60s, and Ford was involved with making the original off-road military vehicles way back in the 40s as well. So Ford has that pedigree when it comes to off-roading. It's not just something that they've done recently. So I think, you know, it looks cool inside and out. It has a whole bunch of cool things, like the roof is removable. There's little quirks and little Easter eggs all over the place, and I'll do a separate video on those Easter eggs. But yeah, I think it is a really cool car to get into. All things considered, I am very impressed by the Bronco today. I mean, I've been driving it around all day. I think it's a really good package that Ford has put together. It's great off-road, it's good on-road, it's cool, it's unique, it's well put together. So there's really nothing about it that would detract me from recommending it to you. So definitely, if you're in the market for this kind of vehicle, check out the Bronco. It would be my recommendation in the class currently. Like I said, if you're in the GTA, check out the people at Erinwood Ford if you're interested in getting one of these cars. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, what would you pick in this category? Would it be the Bronco? Would it be the Bronco just because it's the newest? Would you go with something more proven? What would you pick? Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe for more content. I have some more videos coming out, so definitely stay tuned. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the support, and I will see you next time.